What's up guys, Lo-Fi No here, and today I want to talk about Raiden Shogun. With Raiden Shogun returning to us and we're able to resummon for her, or you happen to just be picking up a copy, I want to just go ahead and give you guys my build guide and also just talk about a little bit from my standpoint about her. So we're going to be talking about her weapon choices, her team comps, and also her talent, and maybe like my review on her, how I feel about her. So before we get into the video, if you like the content, then feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification button. You know, the usual thing that everyone says on their channel. So let's get into it. Raiden Shogun's normal attacks are basically useless. Don't level them up. There's no point. Her kit has nothing to do with her normals. Now onto her element skill. To sum this up, it's basically an element skill that you are able to place down and it'll attack coordinately to whatever you do. So if you use your normals, if you use an element skill on another character or Baal herself, or use a burst, then her element skill will also proc, which does like a electro damage on the enemy, as well as, let's just say that you're playing on another character not Raiden Shogun, then what happens is your element burst will also get increased damage based on the energy cost of the character. So just to sum it up, it's basically like a coordinated elemental attack. That's really it. And finally, her element burst, basically she goes Super Saiyan. By activating this burst, she is now able to drop the pole arm and use a sword and does crazy electro damage slashes. Before the slashes come out, she does a crazy big damage hit whenever she pulls out the sword, and then once you start using the sword, then it does crazy electro like I said. The sword is on a duration, and as well as throughout that whole duration, she is regenerating energy for your teammates, and also she is interruptible, so she will not be staggered by any enemy. Another thing that you will also notice whenever you're playing with Raiden is she has a circle around her that's behind her back, and you'll also see it whenever you swap to another character. The purpose of this thing is to show like a little meter for how much element burst that you have built up. So every time that you pop an element burst before Baal, she will get like increased damage or increase on that circle, and all the way up to the point where it gets to the starting point of where your element skill sits at, the little eye shape sits at. So because of that, if you get it all the way up to where the eye thing is sitting at, then guess what? You do crazy amounts of damage. Even before then, even if you don't get it all the way there, it still does really nice damage. So do keep that in mind when you are trying to use her burst at the right time. You want to have it at a good spot. Charge it up. Make sure that you use all your other characters' burst before you throw in her. So what constellation should you stop at, guys? I reckon always at 1 or 2 for Baal personally, because her 1 and 2 is really good. But I hear a lot of people talk about that you should try to stop at 4 because it does give you more damage, and it also increases the damage on Baal herself with I think like 30% attack. So yeah, I would recommend that you have the funds or you get lucky, stop at 1 or 2 or go to 4. Other than that, that's really it on her constellations. Alright guys, so let's talk about her weapon. Her weapon choices are very versatile, and you can run almost anything on her, to be honest. But I'm just gonna get into what I think people should run her weapons on, and I'm gonna start with the 5 stars first. My first 5 star will have to be her signature weapon. I feel as though it does high damage out of all of them. Some people wanna probably say that there's a weapon that outdoes this, which I'm gonna get into, but for right now I feel as a Engulfing Lightning does really good, and of course it's her signature weapon. If you do not have her signature weapon, then I would recommend for another 5 star is actually the Skyward Spine. I feel as though that weapon is just as good as the Engulfing Lightning because it gives you crit rate for 1 from the from the passive, and the main substat is element recharge. I don't find this weapon bad at all. I feel as though that it's surprisingly a good weapon for Raiden Shogun. Now let's jump into the 4 star, guys. When Raiden Shogun first came out, she had gotten a weapon that came with her 5 star weapon, which is called the Catch. The Catch, hands down, is like one of her best weapons if you just happen to not have like her signature weapon, in all honesty. And it would do just as good as, well, any other elemental recharge weapon. And really deep down is one of the best ones you should really go for. I don't see no downside with this. And frankly, does what it needs to do, and it helps exactly what you want for her. But I will say, it's just that it's very tedious to go for, and I hate the fact that I have to fish for it. I still haven't did my fishing, to be honest, guys, and I'm probably still not gonna get it to refinement 5. I'm just gonna be real. But if you like fishing, or you somehow did it, kudos to you, my friend. So the next weapon that I was talking about here is going to be the Windbreaker Fin, which has a substat that is attack, and the passive on this weapon is pretty unique, I will say. Basically what this passive does is whatever character that is equipping this weapon, their element burst damage is going to be increased by a certain amount, and it can max out to between 40 and 80. How you achieve this is just by having elemental particles coming to you, whether that's from your own or from just the white ones in the game. I would run this weapon, to be honest, guys, if you just have really good substats in your element recharge and you're wanting to just do more damage with your Baal. In all honesty, that's the only reason why I would ever run the Windbreaker's Fin. But me personally, I'm a type of guy that just wants to play Baal with a lot of ER, and I got lucky with my crit rate and crit damage ratio, so I'm fine with how much attack I got. And to be honest, I didn't level up my Windbreaker, so I don't really know, truth be told, if this is better damage, but I'm just going to assume. And I feel as though it's most likely is going to be, but someone in the comments can tell me. Now on to the honorable mention weapons. Obviously is going to be the Black Cliff and also the Deathmatch. If you're having to have some money and you're able to summon for it, not summon, but buy the battle pass or get it from the shop, then I will say these weapons are good for her as well, because they provide her with a way to help her substats with the crit rate and crit damage. But overall, I wouldn't recommend giving those weapons to her. In all honesty, you're just better at giving like any weapon that has element recharge on it and calling it a day, because that's all you want for Baal, is just element recharge. Now onto our artifact. There's really one set of artifacts that's just the best thing for her, which is going to be the emblem set 4-piece. Like, it's just hands down one of her best. It does what it needs to do. The set is made for her. It slaps, it hit hard. I mean, like, you feel good running this mug. I mean, there's nothing else to say on this. It just does what it needs to do. So just make sure that you have element recharge as one of the substats. Now, this is where you kind of try to figure out what you want per se. On your sands, you want to run element recharge, or you can run attack, and I'm talking about the main stat. You can. It really deep down, it depends on your ratio of like your element recharge and your attack per se, how much you get. Because in all honesty, whenever you're using Baal, you want to have at minimum 240 up to 280 element recharge at max. To really get the best bang for your buck, 240 is what the base minimum of what you want. So with that being said, just try to have your artifacts range kind of sort of in the 240 and above range. But yeah, you can switch it up for your sands to either have attack or element recharge. Now, her cup per se, I have seen a lot of people run element recharge instead of electric damage bonus. Again, it all comes down to just your ratios of what you're looking for. If you need more element recharge, then run the element recharge. If you feel like you have enough or the minimum, then slap on the elemental damage cup. Now her circlet or her hat, you can either run crit rate or crit damage, your choice. I wouldn't run element recharge on it because you're just providing too much, and you can get enough by just focusing on element recharge for the substat, as well as giving her a weapon that has element recharge, and also making sure that your sands is element recharge. Now onto a team comps, guys. To be honest with you, you run Raiden Shogun with almost anyone. I mean, like, there's not a team that doesn't benefit from her. I haven't seen a single team that cannot benefit from her. She's just an all-around good unit. You can't pass her up. If you're able to get her and you don't have her, bro, make sure you get her. I mean, it's just bottom line. It's just, she just does what you need to do, and that's it. So that being said, for my team comps, I recommend to anyone that will be the standard support team comp that everyone likes to run. Is going to be Raiden Shogun, Zhangling, Xingqiu, and Bennett. That team right there, if you do Abyss with this team, like, you will feel like you're doing the best thing in the world. You will clear your Abyss. It's just a lot simpler to just run this team. It does what it needs to do. They provide everybody with each other with support. The damage is good, bruh. So if you're looking for a base team, run that team if you're just struggling to know or don't know what to run for Raiden Shogun. My next team that I like to run is Ilula with Raiden Shogun, Rosalia, and Zhongli. This is more of a superconduct team per se. You got Ilula doing the big number damage, plus you got Raiden Shogun providing for her team and giving the damage back or giving the element recharge back. You got Zhongli making sure everyone's alive, plus purification, and then you got Rosalia with giving her crit buff as well as giving that cryo for Ilula, and then also making sure that your physical damage is increased if you have her Constellation 6. You can't go wrong, boys. You just can't. It does what it needs to do. And then two, you can obviously replace Rosalia with Yomiku if you also got her. It does really nice as well because they both benefit from each other, and that actually segues into my other team comp. I love trying to use Raiden Shogun with Yomiku because really deep down they're like best friends. They work really well. Felt as though Mihoyo kind of wanted us to use Raiden Shogun with Yomiku. It just feels right. Their synergy, how they work, it's like they scream for you to be like, okay, look, put these two together, bro. So with that being said, is my team for that will be Yaimiku, Raiden Shogun, Bennett, and then I will put Sing Cho. That's my team comp right there, and it does really nice. It's an easy setup team, to be honest, and it's a good Abyss team as well. Raiden Shogun bringing you, again, the element recharge support. The Bennett is providing you with the ult capabilities and the buff. You got Sing Cho that's bringing the swords, doing that hydro damage, and then you got Yaimiku doing like dumb nut damage. It does what it needs to do. It just feels right. You can't go wrong with this team. So that's really my team recommendations, and if you guys have any team builds that you guys have, then leave them down below. You know, let me know what type of team do you like to build with Raiden Shogun. Now my review, I don't really have anything bad to say about Baal really. If you guys have any negative things that you found about Raiden Shogun, then feel free to leave it down below as well to let me know about what you think is wrong. But yeah, that's really it with this video. I just wanted to give you guys my build guide on Raiden Shogun and everything, and yeah, thank you for watching the video, and catch you guys later. Peace.